Today we have Priscilla Monroe here. How are you doing today, Priscilla?
Tara, I am doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Priscilla's going to tell us about who she is and what it is that she does.
Well, my name is Priscilla Monroe, as she said, and I am an entrepreneur, 1% entrepreneur, and it started by way of me writing a book called Soul Check Motivational Quotes. This book was birthed after maybe 9 or 10 years. I went through a journey of being on bed rest with 2 daughters, 19 weeks first time, 24 weeks the second time. And during that process, I began to think, you know what, I just can't do this. And then my thoughts started being challenged by negative thoughts that I just never really had before. But this journey was the first time I've ever been on bed rest and this particular journey. So the book was birthed because of the quotes that I had to tell myself that I could do things, I was great, you know, I looked good. Just some of the simple things we forget about ourselves.
Oh, wow, that's really good. That's really good because a lot of people forget on those little things that you have to tell yourself, you have to remind yourself to encourage yourself because, I mean, I'm sure you got a lot of people around you encouraging you, telling you these things, but you have to know that within yourself.
So I had to know it within myself, but I also had to practice it.
Yes.
I also had to be consistent with it because it was a long time.
Right.
And it wasn't like I was on bed rest and I could kind of walk around. I was on strict bed rest, bed, bathroom, and your personal hygiene, and that was it. And then going to the doctor's office every 2 weeks for fresh air, which was like 4th of July to me.
Right. Wow.
We get to go out.
Right. And I'm sure some of the listeners out here can resonate with that because you're not the only one to go into that situation, but it's about what you did to help change your mind during that time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So during that time, in 2016, I felt like I was going through a little bit of a challenging year that I know God wanted me to go through. So 2016, he said, okay, it's time for you to birth your book. So in 2017, this is what you are going to do. So I just researched how to write a book, how to get the content done. So I set up a schedule every night. I had a consistent schedule every night, 9:30. I sat down at my desk and just wrote. That's all I did, nothing else. Things were in the house. They were some of the things were undone, but I was consistent with my schedule, my commitment to myself, and also realizing that it was for a season, that I was going to be sleep deprived, but this was the project that I had to. I had to get it done. Yeah. And it was like a sickening feeling that just had to be birthed out.
That's like childbirth in a way.
It
you know, it's like those not so positive things, but at the end you get this wonderful gift.
You get the product of being obedient if you are traveling down the road through God's journey and not your own.
Amen. So during this process of writing your book and starting this venture, what are some of the challenges that you have faced, and how can you sort of tell the listeners about the challenges and sort of like not pre-warn, but sort of like get them in the mindset like you may experience this, and if you experience this challenge, here's what you can do to get how, and this is how it resolved itself, or you got out of it, or it opened up another door for another situation. Could you expound upon that?
The first thing that I will warn people about is, I don't know why it's set up this way, but when you start on a project that you know is important and there's a purpose behind it, you are going to get distracted. The distractions will come. So what I had to do with the distractions, because even in the midst of me writing down the quotes, positive quotes, I had to also write down positive affirmations and keep them on my desktop. I had scriptures. I just wrote down positive things that was going to allow me to push through the fact that, you know, you can't get this project done. I'm like, oh yes, I can. Yeah. Or it's not even good enough. So I had to counteract. Even though I was working on the project, I had to counteract. So you need to be equipped with some sorts of tool or mechanism that you know that you're going through this, but I can reflect back on this as a tool to get me through it. So that was one of the things. I also had an accountability partner that I said, I'm working on this project, Tara, and I'm having it completed by X amount of date. Will you basically walk me through it and hold me accountable, help me walk through it and hold me accountable to get the project done. So that was important to me too as well, putting it out there to someone that I trusted with my information, that number one, respected my information and wanted to see me and the project completed, with the project to be completed. So that was the biggest thing, was the accountability, and also, you know, having the right resources to counteract when you have those negative thoughts that come into your mind.
Yeah, they do. And challenges will come. I mean, it says that in the Bible. You're going to be, we're living life and you're going to have trouble. But, you know, rest assured, God has already overcome the world. And that's a blessing. That's a huge blessing. But we have to get our minds right. We have to renew our mind daily. And that's what I really like about your book, is it helps people to renew their mind. And not only renew your mind, but also to write down some self-reflection points that you can look back and say, oh, I was feeling this on this day, and remind yourself. You know, it's a great tool for motivation.
Well, thank you so much for saying that. And it's a journal style book where, just like Tara said, you have the quotes and then you have the lines and spaces on how it is reflecting you while you were reading. So now I've kind of gotten a little bit into the marketing aspect of it. God just keeps giving me ideas. So he gave me the idea. He was like, well, you know what? Ask people to pass the mustard seed. So I would ask people to share with them the quote, share with other people the quote, and let them know how the quote impacted them. I also give away a mustard seed at my book signing. And that's just not something that came to me when I was writing the book. This is just something because I know that I'm being obedient and allowing God to use me and the journey that I'm going through to help someone. So I give away a small mustard seed, and it kind of catches people off guard. I'm like, what's this? Like, it's a mustard seed, man. It's a mustard seed.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
So let's go into, if people want to get your book, they want to find you, social media, how can they do all that before we get into more of the questions?
Okay, if you want to purchase my book, I always lead people back to my website. My website will take you to all the landing places. So the website is www.soul, like your soul, like on my t-shirt, check, CHECK.net. Go to my website. You will find where you can buy the book. You will find where you can invest in my mission, my purpose, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. And also, there's some other resources on my website. I love talking to people about health, keeping your body up. So there are some videos talking about that. Go to my website, and then from my website, you will be able to go to the other landing places. Like I'm on Facebook, of course, but Instagram, some of the other social media. But just remember the website first.
So Priscilla, and also you have some events coming up. Can you tell people about the things that you have going on, so we can, you know, so they can know, be abreast to follow you and know what's going on with you. So tell us what you're doing.
I am launching a new fitness class right here in Odenton at Kingdom Cafe and Lounge, which is 1350 Blair Drive. A new fitness class. I'm teaming up with a certified trainer by the name of Shar. We're calling it Mind, Body, and Soul, because you got to get your mind right to be consistent. So that is going to be next Wednesday, which is November the 8th at 6:15. So I'm on Facebook, follow me there, and it will be also on my website. So thank you, Tom, for reminding me.
No problem. So in regards to, we were talking about challenges, what are some things that you did that through your process and that you're doing now, then you would tell the listeners out there that works for you, that could work for them as well, as far as it's marketing or, you know, getting your workout services? What would be some suggestions to them that you would provide?
First of all, my first suggestion to you is, whether it's a book or a big project you're working on, write down your vision statement, which is separate from your mission statement. Your vision statement is more personal for you, so it's how you are going to visualize yourself as you continue on your journey. So I am in the process of revamping my vision statement, but have a vision statement, because that lets you have a place where you can go back to when you might get distracted in the process of marketing and doing what you were doing. The other thing is, I write down a daily goal, and a lot of times it's not about the business. It's about my prayer life and how I am going to be a blessing to someone else. because I know if I'm a blessing to someone else, my business is going to grow.
Amen.
It just
Amen.
is.
Amen.
It may be in a different purpose, or it may not be through someone buying a book. I've been so blessed. I've had people invest in my business. Like a friend of mine posted on her Facebook page the other day, she has an illness, and this particular day she just wasn't feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
So God put it on my heart, go give her a book. So I put the book in my in her mailbox. So you have to be open to hearing and also being obedient with the things that you could kind of never just put on your business page.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You're right. You're right about that. It's always, I was hearing someone talk about gratitude and being grateful and giving. And it's all about giving. And then the more you give, the more, it's not about receiving, but you get the gift when you give. People think that, oh, if I give this to you, then when I get something back from you, that's the gift, that's the receiving. But it's not. Like, when I give, I automatically receive something. And it's so great. Tell me about this t-shirt.
Oh, this t-shirt is actually my branding. It's part of my brand. That was all part of just God leading me. Soul Check Rocks is kind of a quote that's not in my book, but it's to inspire people, to let you know in those days you think you can't. Yes, you can, because you rock. Yes. You have it within you, even though you might not feel like it. So you can't always go by your feeling. You have to go by what you know. So the t-shirt is part of the branding as I continue to grow and just be a blessing. And so when people see Soul Check Rock, they can identify. I want them to identify first with my mission and then say, Priscilla's doing X, Y, Z.
Right. Yeah. Or that I rock, because I checked my soul, I got it ready to go, and I rock.
And I'm rocking through this.
Right, that's right. Right. Exactly. That's a good one. So, in regards to being an entrepreneur, let's get down into some other little questions. What are some things that you would say that have carried you through, whether it's books, I mean, I'm sure it was quotes too, but like, practical steps or practical skills that people should have if they want to start their own business? What would you suggest to the listeners?
One of the most practical things is you have to sit down and write out what you want to do. It does not have to be complicated. It does not have to be this 100-page document, but you must write it down. That is the most practical thing you can do, and you must respect your time. You cannot give away your time if you have dedicated to a particular project, because trust me, there's other things that will look inviting, but if it's not on the pathway of what you know your for right now, because it's not the season for it, you cannot do it. You have to politely tell the opportunity and the presenter of the opportunity, now it's not the time. I'm working on X, Y, Z. I had to learn that a little bit of a challenging way, because I so want to help someone be involved in something, but I was reminded, even before I first started on this project, a person told me, actually a coach told me, she said, remember what you're doing it for. Remember the purpose behind, and don't let anything distract you. So that, because I can have spaghetti brain.
Well, everybody can. And it always, I mean, you know, when opportunities come up, you're like, oh, I got to get out there. I got to go this place, go this place. And you're going so much that you end up, you know, wasting energy and time. Some of them profit good opportunities, but some of them don't. So you're right. You have to pick, choose, and refuse, and really be led to which events you need to vend at and which events you need to speak at. I mean, just because someone is speaking all over in every platform doesn't mean that they're really getting the knowledge to the person, giving value, and then also, recouping some of the resources that they put out to do that.
Exactly, and you want to be careful on who you latch on to make sure they represent what you want to represent. Hence my publishing company, Kingdom Publishing, which is right here in Oldington, a Christian publishing company. Not once did he distract me or try to talk me into something that I didn't want my book to represent. He complimented me. And then also the other thing was, by me going with this particular publisher, I did not have to worry about who else he was representing. You writing certain novels that represent certain things that is It's counterpredicting what my lifestyle represents.
Right. That's true.
I can't latch onto that. So you have to be mindful of that with your business decision, and say, you know what? Even if a particular rapper said, Priscilla, I want to endorse or invest in you, and this is not bashing rappers, please know this, but if they are doing things that don't represent what I can empower into the youth, even though their money is good, I can't take it. Yeah. And that's hard when you're starting from scratch, but you have to be mindful of what is the true purpose you want to stay true to. Yeah.
That's really good. Thank you for taking this time out to talk with us and sharing information. Is there anything else that you want to, a last statement you want to leave with the listeners, or?
Absolutely. I always say with your soul check, and the reason why I named it soul check, everyone has a soul. Everyone doesn't have a spirit that they're connected to because they may not be a child of God, but you have a soul. So be willing to invest in your soul and check it daily to make sure it is receiving and giving what you want it to give and receive. Hence, if you know for some reason you are latched onto something that is not helping you grow, you might want to rethink that because you're going to do a soul check.
Right, yeah.
And then operate from there.
Yeah, that's good. If it's not letting you grow, then you need to let it go.
You need to let it go.
That's good. Thank you, Priscilla.
You're welcome.
All right.
So thank you for having me.